What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Black Student Success Podcast, where we bring you insight and guidance from successful Black professionals and students. My name is Selvin, and as always, we appreciate the support. So we are back with our Where They Now segment. We've got Nick Jones. If you remember from his first episode, as a police officer in the city of Evanston, Illinois, he talked about what his career path looked like, kind of getting into position, and what it's really meant to be a cop in the city that he grew up in, and just having a positive impact on his environment, and especially the kids, within the city. So we're gonna kind of see what he's been up to. So Nick, welcome back. How you doing, man? I'm
doing pretty good. Feeling good. I got work later tonight, so I'll probably get a little sleep later.
Okay. That's always good, especially for those night shifts. So we appreciate your time coming back on here. So, tell us, what have you been up to? I think it's been almost about a year since we talked the last time. What's been new in your neck of the woods?
I'm trying to think. Last time we talked, we were kind of like in it, right? Like COVID was like,
yeah, it was pretty fresh. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, well, now we back at it, man. Like wrestling season starting. We got the little kids, the K through 8th graders showing up in full. I'm sure their parents were ready to get rid of them since they had to stay with them the whole time last year. So we got about a little over 60 kids in our kids club.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a ton. And then of course the high schoolers are getting back to it. Work never stopped. So pandemic was going on. We was working.
Mm-hmm.
And now we still working. We've had a lot of attrition since the pandemic with everything that went on during that time with you had the virus, the protests, everything was just rough. So I think we've lost a lot of officers since last year, either to just people retiring or switching departments. Right now, laterals, if you already got your police cert, like they're a big deal. So all these departments are trying to lure away other people's officers. You got some departments giving out $25,000 bonuses if you just sign on. So it's been kind of crazy, man. So the city's got to work out, kind of how they want to deal with that. And but me myself, I'm just doing what I'm doing, man. I work. I'm in patrol. A big thing has been catalytic converter thieves. They've been out here. So we've been on the lookout for them. And violent crime's been steadily going up. I guess once people back outside, people get right back to it, man. They don't miss a beat.
Yeah. No, it seems like the we're neighboring, Chicago, and they've had their own challenges and everything. And I know some of those instances have actually spilled here. Whether the people who were involved in those incidents are actually from here or not. But what has that been like, with people kind of getting back outside, which is making, giving you something to do, I guess, for a lack of a better term. But what has that been like trying to maneuver through the pandemic, as a police officer? Have you run into any specific challenges personally with that?
No, I mean, really, it's just kind of like almost, I mean, we're just back to, almost, it's just for business as usual, maybe is the word. I mean, now we got a lot more protocols as far as like wearing masks and, sanitizing the cars and everything like that. They don't want us going into anyone's homes without a mask on, or businesses, or even when like the mask mandate was kind of lifted for a little bit, they still wanted us to wear our masks just in case.
Okay.
And now you got the vaccine mandates. Unlike Chicago, our city manager worked with our union. So I guess the unions worked out whatever plan they wanted to work out with the vaccines. I'm vaccinated, so it didn't really matter for me so much. And I got vaccinated through the city. So I guess they already know I am. I don't know if they haven't started like a portal like Chicago did.
Okay.
So I guess, the biggest differences are just really the people are pretty much kind of the same. Like even with the mask stuff, a lot of people kind of ignore it when we kind of enter the mix. But of course, we're entering the mix a lot of times in a dynamic situation, or sometimes a little chaotic one. But sometimes people aren't even thinking about it. But Yeah, no, work's been work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just still on the because there's no remote work in
Right,
at
right.
least in your space, right?
I know there's been some discussion about there's been some discussion from the city about hazard pay for people that worked during the pandemic. I imagine that would include police officers and firefighters, and I'm not exactly sure. Well, maybe the people that were giving out the shots at the civic center.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we was working.
Yeah, yeah. Any anticipation for anything changing? As it's kind of getting colder over here, are you guys anticipating anything for the winter season to be different than what you've already seen before?
Uh, well, yeah, I guess we're all kind of gonna see what changes in the winter, right? Because that's when like all the viruses and stuff supposed to be like more prominent.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know what's gonna change as far as on that end of things and what we might have to change in response to it. But I mean, we're pretty well equipped to deal with whatever comes of that. Um, yeah, man, I think we'll just see if anything changes. I mean, people have mostly kind of gone back to, I want to say, normalcy for the most part. Um, I don't think the mask thing is going away, although JB, I think, recently said something about lifting the mask mandate for the holidays, which I don't know how much sense that makes, but the rules change all the time as far as that goes.
Yeah, so you gotta be able to adapt. Yeah, I don't know about I don't know about all that. It's you can't let your guard down these days. It's
Right.
yeah, but good to hear that you're so staying consistent in that regard, and surprisingly, not too many things has kind of changed in your area because like you said, you as soon as what was that March of last year hit, you guys were still kind of doing your thing and just kind of have those protocols in place.
Right. I mean, and I'm in patrol, so like the biggest change, I guess, is like, us having lost officers, which is kind of like put more work on everybody, as far as, filling in spots where you don't have anyone no more. So that's kind of been the big thing. Cause we have a minimum amount of officers we got to have every night. And whenever we fall below that, they put it out to see if anyone wants to work overtime. And if no one accepts it,
yeah,
then someone from the previous shift has to stay an extra shift. So we've been having a lot of that. And so then that's just kind of been that's been big on, and they go by law if you low on the totem pole. And luckily for me, I've been on for 7 years now. So I don't have to deal with that as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the young boys, it's been rough.
Okay. Yeah. A little bit of hazing over there.
I don't know.
Yeah. Strong word, right? Yeah. No, I got you. So, but outside of work, man, what the pandemic has kind of brought up is different opportunities to kind of explore different things. And, that's been something that you've done, kind of off duty. And you want to talk about the podcast that that you started and kind of working through.
Right. So, just we started this just kind of pass the time, and we got 2 podcasts. It's under the Towncast Podcast Network umbrella. We have Pour Out the Popcorn. I do that with my boy Jonathan. And pretty much, that's the nerd podcast, man. So you guys, movies, Marvel comics, MCU stuff, all the good nerd stuff. We getting into it. And the second podcast is We Might Get Canceled, and that's with my boy DB3. And in that podcast, we get into everything. We talk about everything. It's unfiltered. I mean, we're not there to hurt any feelings or hurt anybody, but who knows, right?
Yeah.
It's a very sensitive world now, so it's real different. But both of those podcasts are on all platforms. So Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everything. We're going through Anchor, so they just throw it on every platform for us. So.
Yeah, shout out to Anchor. Yeah, no, but that's awesome. I mean, and to be able to kind of explore two worlds in that, where you're kind of doing more current events and things like that, and how it relates to, you and DB3. And then, on the movie side, I'm sure you guys are kind of touching on like Easter eggs and kind of dissecting things maybe that and I don't know if that's made you a little bit more in tune with, watching movies, or it changes the way that you're kind of watching things when you're looking for different things to talk about. But I'm sure it brought a new perspective as far as, those little intricacies that you can kind of explore and talk about.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Jonathan's always had like a little eagle eye anyway when it came to these things. And we would always kind of talk about some of this stuff offline. So I think that this was just natural, right? Like being able to do it. We just got done with dissecting Spawn with Michael J. White, and came out in '97. So that was a fun one, especially if you're looking at the CGI then compared to now. We was living in different times, man. Because back then as kids, I was like, "Oh, this is the coolest thing ever," right? And so it's just fun going back on some of that stuff, and we're planning on doing Eternals next. Once I get on, I'm gonna go see it, check it out, and try to take notes while so that's different. You watch stuff, you start taking notes, whereas before you just watch, right?
Yeah.
So, and then with DB3, we just pay attention to current events, and we just kind of pick and choose the things that are interesting to us, and then we just talk about it.
That's what's up. A lot of good content in there. We'll make sure to have all that in the description as well. Shout out to both Jonathan and DB3 for that good work that you guys are doing. But yeah, you're still staying busy. Kind of getting into a little bit more things. Any things on the horizon, outside of, work, the podcast, the, coaching with wrestling and everything?
Outside that, now all that stuff takes up all my time now. All my time was already taken up with the kids and with work, and then now just adding this extra layer. It's fun, but it's a lot of work, man. And one thing that is changing soon that I didn't mention, which will probably make things easier for me as far as being able to do all these things, is we're gonna be switching to 12-hour shifts soon at the beginning of next year. And so with that, kind of hard to explain, but basically every other weekend is a 3-day weekend. So every other weekend you get Friday, Saturday, Sunday off.
Okay.
So with that coming, and they're still talking about it, so maybe it doesn't come. But if that comes, that'll at least give me more time to, kind of juggle all these things.
Yeah. Kind of condensing all the work into fewer days, and
right.
Yeah. And then
I think he works something like 60 less days in a year.
Oh, okay. So yeah, well, hopefully that works with, things like attrition, like you mentioned, and, making it more attractive to kind of work within your department. So, and then, like you said, making the work easier for you and the folks who've kind of, stuck with it, outside of these challenging times. So, hey, yeah, right. Keep that seniority up.
Yeah, I'm invested, man. I'm in it. So
just like you said, in the last podcast, everything is kind of surrounded by, having this full circle moment of, having this type of impact, in the community that brought you up. So, kudos to you, and keep doing the work that you're doing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any last words for our listeners before we sign off?
No, I guess, hey, keep checking out Selvin's pod, man. He's doing big things, doing great things. He's helping these young folks out. And if any of the young folks got any questions for me, or they want to find out how to get into this type of career, I'm available.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. Well, Ashley and I appreciate, you coming on and sharing all that. And definitely listen to, We Might Get Canceled, and remind me of the name of the movie review one.
Pour Out the Popcorn.
There you go. Pour Out the Popcorn. So like I said, we'll have all that in the description. So again, thanks, Nick, for coming back on. And thanks to everybody who's been watching and listening. Again, feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's at Inquire Higher. Check out our website, inquirehigher.com. And if you want to reach us by email, that's contact@inquirehigher.com. So again, appreciate you all listening. And until next time, peace.